So just a quick, important note for people like me who stress about getting back to the boat on time. Apparently, Princess adapts their ship's time to the local time of the port you are in, which is very different than Carnival. And I believe Norwegian does as well. They keep the time of the port you left from, your home port. So just note, be super careful and pay attention and ask someone if you have any doubts whatsoever. Just for some reference, the mooring line stretching across the screen belonged to our cruise ship. When taking the Aleutian Ballad excursion, you will walk down this waterfront path to where the crab boat will be docked. On our excursion, she was at berth number 3. I'm not sure if that's where she always stays or if it was just for the day. On this pathway, you will have beautiful waterfront views, and you will also find Tongass Trading Company. This is a rather large store in which you can find everything from luggage to licorice and everything in between. They have souvenirs, supplies, clothing, snacks, and many toiletry items. We found the prices to be very fair, and this one-stop shop can meet all of your Alaska tourist needs. So the Aleutian Ballad is the name of the boat that we will be on today for our excursion. It is going to be berth number 3. We walked from the cruise ship, which was about a 5-minute walk. And there she sits.
I remember the day I looked on that ocean. I thought back on my career. How much have I seen out there? How cool would it be to take people with us, to catch that stuff, to hand it to you, and show you things above the water that might blow your mind. So for 10 years I dreamt about doing this tour project, and I woke up one day and I was done dreaming.
We have only been on this boat maybe half an hour, and this is by far one of the most favorite things we have ever done. We haven't even really gotten started yet. One of the things that I really liked about this particular excursion is once you get on board, you find your seats. However, you are not committed to staying in that spot during the entire voyage. We were encouraged to get up, to walk around the boat, to explore, to get on the top deck, to go to the little ship store. They just had you participate in every aspect of the entire day. On board, they have a gift shop. So we're gonna tour a little bit and show you what the inside of this boat and the other locations look like. So they have hats and sweatshirts and t-shirts, snacks. Boarded the Aleutian Ballad and went out to sea, and we saw them give a demonstration on how they crab from an from a commercial perspective. And it was, of course, very, very low key compared to what actually happens on a fishing vessel. This was just like an example. The actual workings of a fishing vessel is way more complex and way more crab pots and way more fishing lines. So they were just kind of giving an example, which again, from the educational perspective, that was right up my alley.
Yeah, we'll do it. You guys know the difference between fishing and actually catching fish? These can be two entirely different things, right? We're in the waters of the Kincaids. We're going fishing. Nice shot, Big D. Just coils the line for us, okay? Got close to 450 feet on this line. We pulled about 150 feet so far.
Not coming.
Not coming.
Pots up.
Pots up?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Really good, Cap.
Not bad, Cap.
Got some snow crab in there, Alaska snow crab.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We just run that up through the gills, just like that. Now you got hanging bait. This bait jar has bait in it from yesterday. We put in there herring and squid. And there's holes in that jar that let the juices flow. And it creates a scent trail at the bottom of the ocean. And that's how they find our pot.
Going over.
Going over.
Lost way.
Just like that, you guys. All right. Female's going to carry 250,000 eggs up underneath her flap. And when she goes to lay those eggs, they come out like little larvae. Only 1/10 of 1% of baby crab grow up to adults. Not much to it. It's kind of crunchy.
Brandon's being brave. He's
A little bit
eating
briny at the end, but
crabby
it's not
arm.
salty seafood. It's not seafoody at all. Doesn't taste fishy.
What does it taste like? Sushi? Fishy?
Huh?
Let me guess, it tastes like chicken.
Grainy.
Grainy?
Almost all the time, 999 out of 1,000 is going to be the crusher claw. The crusher claw has some ivory in there. It's in there to support that claw so that it doesn't crush its own claw. It's extra structural integrity. On the left-hand side is the cutter claw, or the feeder claw. It's going to cut and feed things into its mouth. It's like food in the honey barrel. All right.
My God.
That's a giant Pacific octopus. That's probably a juvenile, maybe a year old. Smartest creature in the ocean. They have a decentralized nervous system that consists of 9 brains. They all act independently. The main brain in the mantle controls everything up there. The mini brains at the base of each arm. Those arms each think independently. And they are arms, not tentacles, okay? They can change their color in 1/10 of a second, quicker than the blink of an eye. They can change their texture. They have over 2,142 suction cups on the female.
And I think what sold me yesterday when Captain Ron was talking about it was the eagles. And the fishermen, we as the guests did not get to actually feed them, but we watched the crew from the Aleutian Ballad toss fish out into the water, up into the air. And when I tell you, there were probably 50 American eagles just soaring in the air around us. They were diving into the water, getting these fish. They were catching the fish in midair. They were tussling with each other over the fish. I've never seen one bald eagle. And to see pictures of that like in textbooks or whatever, I don't know about you, but it just brings up this well of emotion in me, this well of patriotism. And to see that, I mean, it was just a most magical moment. So that one 20-minute experience of just seeing that was worth every penny that we paid into this excursion. And that is one aspect of this trip that I will never, ever, ever, ever forget. So we just got back from our excursion aboard the Aleutian Ballad, and Brandon and I both say that out of all of our trips and all of our excursions, that was probably our most favorite. It was very unique, different, and the one thing that I really noticed is they took a lot of effort to include everyone and everything. So it wasn't that if you sat on the front row, you got to hold or touch the animals. They made sure to include everybody from the top deck to the sides and made it an experience for everyone to love.
Yeah. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, that was the naturalist. Can't remember her name. I loved her. I met her yesterday at one of the little bar restaurants. She had walked up, and I don't normally seek people out to talk to just because. But she walked up, and I had to shake her hand figuratively and tell her how much I was enjoying her talks. What you just heard was an announcement over the intercom. She is kind of updating the guest whenever there is a sighting that we may be interested in seeing. And there has been some sightings of whales, not a lot because this is early, but there was mention of seeing some whales yesterday. So I am on the lookout because I think what would just make this trip the most perfect trip for me is if I could see a whale, even if it's just the little flume thing that comes out of his blowhole. That to me would be super cool. So she just came on the speaker. I don't know if she was, I didn't catch the first part of it. I don't know if she was saying that something had been sighted or if she was letting us know that she would continue to update us. As our day in Ketchikan came to a close, we reflected on everything we did this particular day, and we loved every moment of it. It turned to be one of our most favorite cruise port destinations we have ever gone to. We look forward to the days coming up and everything that we will be able to experience and share with you.